everyone, it's your girl UK. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you're returning. So I just launched my merch shop, y'all. I'm so excited. Make sure y'all go to the description box. I think it's right below it. Click on the links. Check out my merch. Let me know what y'all think of my designs, and there's a sale going on. Okay, so last video we talked about low porosity hair, so this video we're going to get into high porosity hair, and it can be a little confusing because there's a huge difference between having high porosity hair and just having dry hair, but we're going to stick to high porosity for this video. So if you ever did the infamous water strand test and your strand sunk to the bottom of the cup, that would indicate that that strand is a high porosity strand, meaning that it takes in all the moisture, it's really heavy, and it makes it sink to the bottom. It can be a little confusing trying to figure out whether your hair is just dry, just happens to be dry because of the products you used or the way you did it, or if your hair is actually high porosity. So there's a lot of downsides to high porosity, and we're going to talk about both angles, but right now let's just get into the bad. So let me tell you how high porosity hair will straight play you. You'll be sitting up here thinking you have the perfect wash and go, twist out, braid out, you hitting. All of a sudden, a couple hours later, or even it could be minutes, you go outside into the humidity and your hair freaks out. You may be lucky if you can get a day or two, possibly 3 out of a decent wash and go, but high porosity hair straight plays you because it sucks up that moisture, and within 24 hours, your hair could be looking dull, look dry, look like you never did anything to it. That's the bad side of high porosity hair, but this is just what it is. You're just going to have to refresh your hair way more often. That's what high porosity hair is about. It requires way more product because you're going to have to refresh your hair. And when I say refresh, I mean you're going to have to go through, you're going to have to add liquids, you're going to have to pile on products. So high porosity hair can handle more frequent washing. And what I like to see, like when I'm dealing with high porosity hair, or when my hair ever has been, because it has been, co-washing is great for high porosity hair. I do not feel the same for my low porosity hair at all. I will not co-wash my low porosity hair because it's a waste of time, but high porosity hair can benefit from it because you use so much more product, you have to do more to clean it. Y'all know I ain't no pro, but just in my experience, I have kind of noticed that people with high porosity have way more split ends and they have to trim their hair way more often. I think it's because of that shaft kind of expanding and contrasting way more, and the amount of manipulation. When you have high porosity hair, you just have to do more to it because it requires more. You have to wash it more often. So y'all comment down below and let me know what y'all think. So now that we spent the last few minutes talking about how much high porosity hair sucks, let's talk about some of the great things. The high porosity hair, y'all get to use all of the cute little smelling new products, all the co-washes in the world. As I said, I think co-washes are a waste of time for low porosity hair, just because I have never seen a co-wash that didn't sit on the scalp or cause a film. It doesn't do anything. But for high porosity girls, y'all have to wash way more. So co-washing seems to make a lot of sense. Now, I think pre-poos, especially the ones that contain coconut oil or coconut water, are great for high porosity people because it can cause that hair to not absorb all of that water on wash day, and too much water, constant moisture, constant wet hair can lead to high growth fatigue. So that's something you have to watch with high porosity and low porosity. But because the high porosity people are more prone to having to wash, I think that's something you have to watch out for. Now, I must say a word, y'all, and this is not to drag anyone or point fingers, but I've noticed that there's this weird idea that's being put out there that if you put water on your hair while it's in a protective style, that somehow is drying out your hair. Newsflash, water is not a moisturizer. It's just not. I'm going to say this a little louder for the people in the back. Water is not a moisturizer. Water is a hydrator. So water hydrates your hair. The products that you put on your hair after the fact is what is supposed to moisturize your hair. Now, just in my experience, most of what I see is not professionals on YouTube. It's just people that are doing things and it works for their hair. And it's great to share because that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing. But you have to be cautious with who you listen to. Listen to what they say, but take it with a grain of salt. So if somebody's doing something like not washing their hair for 6 months or 8 months, and they're telling you, yes, this is the way to go. I mean, it may work for them, but you might try to do it and you sit out here listening to the no shampoo, no water for 6 month girl, and you'll be no shampoo, no water, bald headed in these streets, because that just makes no sense. When it's all said and done, you just have to do what works for you. And I don't think that they're doing it to hurt people, but I think that they're just not thinking fully through, because to say that when your hair is in a protective style, if you put water in it, it's drying it out, so you're just not going to use water on your hair, that's just crazy. You need to figure out why that's the case. And you probably have high porosity hair. You're putting water, which is a hydrator, on your hair and leaving your hair, but that's for a whole nother video. Now let's talk moisture sealers. I am in love with hair grease as a sealer. I know not everyone is into hair grease. If you're not, that's cool. I understand, do you, boo? But the only one I use is the Blue Magic Organics right here in this picture. I think shea butter it has its time and its place. I have thin strands, so shea butter is not an all go-to for me. It's not something I can fool with, just like the castor oil. It has its time and its place, and I'll do a video on that. But for high porosity hair, I think shea butter is a great sealant. I think that castor oil is also a great sealant. But for me, this is what it really comes down to. What is your hair saying? So if it needs to be hydrated, just do it. You're definitely going to need to do that more often with high porosity hair, but I do not think that you need to go broke with all these products that are targeting high porosity versus low porosity, because at the end of the day, you can use regular products that don't say anything about porosity and just pay attention to what your hair needs. And also with high porosity hair, you stick to cold water, because that closes the cuticle and it'll keep that moisture in. May not be longer than a day or two, but it'll keep it in longer than normally. And I just want to say this, based off of all those comments that was on my shampoo video, I need y'all to be smart. So low porosity girls, do not, when I say hot water, do not be sitting up here scalding yourself. Or when I say cold water for the high porosity girls, I don't want anyone suffering from hypothermia and then talking about, well, UK said that I was supposed to use hot water or cold water, and now I got third-degree burns, or I had a hypothermic response. No, y'all, come on. We're not talking about the extremes. We're just saying hot water enough to open up the cuticle and cold water enough to close it. Now, don't forget to thumbs this video up and comment down below what y'all think.